Welcome to SamvaadX News Podcast. Today is Sunday, 4th May, and the time as we record this podcast is 9 a.m.
We are Raj Patel and Priya Shah here.
And we're about to take a deep dive into some of the most significant news shaping our world right now.
Yeah, quite a mix today.
We've got a really diverse set of stories for you, from international relations complexities to, well, crucial economic developments, sports thrills.
And even that fascinating personal story at the end.
Exactly. So let's get straight to it, starting with the India-Pakistan situation following the Pahalgam attack.
Right. The reaction from India,
Yeah.
It was pretty immediate and quite forceful, wouldn't you say?
Oh, definitely. It's not just words this time.
No, we're seeing concrete actions, things designed to, exert real pressure. The halt on trade, for instance, direct and indirect.
Complete halt. And suspending postal services, too. That's bound to bite economically.
Absolutely. And then there's the maritime angle.
Yeah. Banning Pakistani ships from docking, advising Indian ships away from their ports. It feels very firm.
It does. And this all follows that terrible attack, 26 lives lost.
Mostly tourists,
Yeah.
which is just awful. What's also worrying, though, is that confirmed intelligence alert beforehand.
Yeah, that raises questions, doesn't it? It always highlights that gap between knowing something might happen and actually stopping it.
True.
And that detail about the local shopkeeper, the one who opened a shop nearby, then kept it shut on the day.
Adds another layer. Suggests they're looking at, well, possible local involvement.
Seems likely. Beyond the security side, though, India bringing the IMF into it, urging them to review aid to Pakistan.
Ooh, that's a strategic move, isn't it? Especially with Pakistan's IMF review meeting coming up.
Timing is everything, right? It definitely ups the pressure at a, critical moment for them.
And Pakistan's reaction. Predictable, I suppose.
Calling it politically motivated. Standard playbook, really, but it shows the deep mistrust.
Yeah. It certainly sets a tense backdrop for that IMF meeting. Huge implications for Pakistan's economy there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift focus domestically now to that very sad event in Goa, the temple stampede.
Ah, yes, at the Sri Larai Devi Temple during the Larai Jatra. Truly tragic.
7 deaths reported and around 80 injured.
That's right. And you had lakhs of worshipers there, just a massive gathering.
It just underscores the immense challenge of managing such huge crowds safely.
Absolutely. Crowd control, logistics.
Yeah.
It's incredibly complex. The inquiry ordered by the Goa CM, Pramod Sawant.
A necessary step. What do you think they need to look at?
Well, you need to know if the safety plans were even adequate for that kind of number and were they followed. Where did things break down?
Exactly. Learning lessons is crucial to prevent this happening again. PM Modi's condolences, too, and the offer of central help.
Shows it's a national concern.
Right. Okay, moving on. A big event today, the NEET-UG exam.
The medical entrance test, huge numbers taken it.
Around 22.7 lakh students, I think, and after last year's controversy, alleged leaks.
Yeah, so security this year was visibly much, much tighter.
How so?
Yeah.
What do they implement?
Well, strict dress codes, a whole list of banned items, more personnel on the ground, better surveillance, apparently mock drills, too.
And really emphasizing that anti-cheating law they brought in.
Exactly. It's all about trying to restore confidence, prevent any repeat.
It has to be seen as fair, doesn't it, for all those students?
Absolutely fundamental. Their whole future rests on it. Hopefully these measures did the job this year.
Let's hope so. Now, there's a really quite disturbing story emerging from Madhya Pradesh.
Yes, it's very troubling. It involves the death of a 3-year-old girl.
And the report suggests she underwent a fast unto death, the Santhora practice, allegedly by her Jain parents.
That's what's being reported. And apparently she had a tumor, was visibly unwell, shivering, red eyes, according to reports.
It's just hard to comprehend.
Yeah.
Santhora is usually a voluntary thing for adults, ascetics near life's end, isn't it? To detach.
Precisely. Applying it to a sick 3-year-old child, it raises massive ethical and, frankly, legal questions.
Huge questions. Parental rights versus the child's welfare.
That's the core conflict here. A child that young can't consent. The state has a duty to protect. You'd expect authorities to investigate this very closely.
For sure. Neglect, maybe other charges?
Could well be. Okay, let's shift internationally. Australia's election results.
Ah, yes. A big win for Anthony Albanese and the Labour Party.
Significant, yeah. Potentially their largest victory since way back in 1946, some are saying.
Wow. There's some chatter about maybe a backlash against, Trump-style rhetoric playing a part.
It's possible, usually a mix of things, domestic issues, maybe a broader global mood. Hard to say for sure, but the result is clear.
Gives Albanese a strong mandate, no doubt.
Definitely. To push on with his agenda.
Okay. And in the world of business, huge news. Warren Buffett stepping down.
After 6 decades.
At 94.
End of an era at Berkshire Hathaway.
Truly. Greg Abel looks set to take over, pending the board's nod.
Right. And Buffett had some interesting things to say on his way out, didn't he, about the U.S. economy?
Yeah, concerns about the national deficit ballooning and the dollar's long-term stability.
That quote, "Wouldn't bet on a currency going to hell." Pretty stark language from him.
It is. And mentioning bureaucracy, other substantial problems. Coming from Buffett, people listen.
Absolutely. His views carry enormous weight. It flags potential long-term hurdles for the U.S. economy.
Okay, staying international, the Russia-Ukraine conflict continues. Reports of a Russian drone strike in Kharkiv.
Yes, injuring quite a few people, at least 47 reported. And Zelensky, understandably, renewing calls for more aid.
And Ukraine seems to have hit back hard. A big drone and missile attack on Crimea and the Black Sea.
That's the picture emerging. Russia's claiming they intercepted a huge number, like 170 drones, cruise missiles, guided missiles, even naval drones.
Wow. So a major escalation in these long-range attacks.
It looks like it. Both sides trying to degrade the other's capabilities, hit infrastructure. The sheer numbers Russia claims to have shot down also tell you something about the scale of Ukraine's effort.
Right. Okay, let's bring it back to India. Andhra Pradesh, big infrastructure news there.
Yeah, PM Modi laying the foundation stone for projects worth, what was it, over rupees 58,000 crore in Amaravati.
That's massive. And across lots of sectors, too.
Highways, railways, defense.
Connecting Tirupati, Srikahasti better, new rail lines, station upgrades, that DRDO missile testing range, Navadurga.
And big plans for Amaravati itself, assembly, high court, secretariat buildings, housing.
Seems like a major push to build that world-class administrative hub they've talked about. Part of the Viksit Bharat vision.
Absolutely. Multi-pronged investment aimed at boosting the whole region's development long-term.
Meanwhile, over in West Bengal, some concerning sounds from the governor.
C.V. Ananda Bose, yeah. Worried about the Murshidabad violence spreading.
Apparently so. He's written to the central government, reportedly suggesting they consider constitutional options.
Whoa, that's strong language. What does that imply?
Well, it suggests a very serious view of the situation. He reportedly mentioned the twin specter of radicalization and militancy and urged proactive steps.
Definitely signals deep concern about security there.
Okay, let's lighten the mood slightly. Sports. IPL action.
Ah, yes. That RCB versus CSK match must have been a nail-biter.
Last ball finish. RCB won by just 2 runs. Puts them top of the table for IPL 2025.
Incredible. Yash Dayal holding his nerve in that final over, defending 15.
Only gave away 12. Crucial. And Virat Kohli, another good innings, 62 runs.
Got the orange cap back, didn't he? And hit his 300th six for RCB. Still delivering.
He is. Though Romario Shepherd almost stole the show with that blistering 50.
14 balls. Joint second fastest ever. And that over against Khalil Ahmed. 33 runs. Ouch.
Crazy hitting. But on a more serious note in cricket, Kagiso Rabada.
Yeah, the news about his suspension, he confirmed it himself, right? Provisional suspension.
Positive test for a recreational drug, apparently. He left the IPL early, back in April.
Playing for Punjab Kings. Serving the suspension now, but not many other details out yet.
No. Disappointing for him and the team. We'll have to
Yeah.
wait and see. Okay, Tech Bites next. SpaceX creating its own city.
Starbase, yeah, the residents around Boca Chica voted overwhelmingly for it. 173-4, I think?
So SpaceX gets much more autonomy down there.
Pretty much. Should help streamline regulations, infrastructure development, basically smooth the path for their big plans. Starship, especially.
Makes sense that the community's on board.
Yeah.
And staying with tech, but in India, AI regulation.
Yeah, the government's signaling its intent again. The Minister of State for Electronics and IT mentioned regulating AI to ensure safety for digital citizens.
So finding that balance, right?
Yeah.
Encouraging innovation, but making sure it's developed and used responsibly.
That seems to be the goal.
Yeah.
Tricky balance to strike, though.
Definitely. Okay, business insights. SBI's results.
State Bank of India's Q4 results. Standalone net profit was down a bit, nearly 10% year-on-year. Came in at rupees 18,642.6 crore.
But loan growth was decent.
Yeah, around 12%, driven by SME and agriculture loans, which is good. But compared to private banks, key metrics like net interest margin and return on assets, They're lagging a bit.
NMM at 3.15%, ROA at 1.12%.
Right. And a big factor in the profit dip seems to be rising employee costs. Asset quality held up okay, though.
Okay, and sticking with finance and regulation, SEBI and the Adani Group again.
Yes, reports that SEBI has accused Gautam Adani's nephew of alleged insider trading.
And there was an attempt to settle it via SEBI's consent mechanism.
Allegedly, yes, which has prompted calls, particularly from the Congress Party, for a proper investigation, not a settlement.
So the scrutiny continues there.
It does. On a brighter note for the Indian economy, though, that MPA report on the entertainment sector.
Yeah, the Motion Picture Association report. Massive numbers.
Film, TV, streaming, generating over $60 billion a year and supporting 2.6 million jobs.
Huge contribution. The report was launched at Waves 2025 in Mumbai, wasn't it?
That's right. And the Minister of State for IMB, Dr. L. Murugan, was there reaffirming government support.
A creator-first ecosystem, supportive policies, IP protection, all crucial for that sector to keep growing.
Absolutely. It's a major economic driver.
Okay, finally today, a really intriguing story. The man who survived hundreds of snake bites.
In Florida, yeah. Over 200 bites throughout his life. It's incredible he survived.
But the really amazing part is how his body reacted, developing incredibly high antibody levels.
Exactly. And those antibodies are now key to developing a much more potent antivenom.
What could that mean? Especially for places like India, where snake bites are such a huge problem.
Potentially life-saving. A more effective antivenom could dramatically cut deaths and long-term injuries from snake bites. It's a remarkable example of how medical breakthroughs can come from the most unexpected places.
Amazing story to end on. Right, that's all we have time for today.
Indeed, a lot covered.
See you tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe to SamvaadX News podcast channel and hit that bell icon.